Hey, welcome to the Chef's Table, a weekly video series for professional women who want to go from being a corporate employee to following their dreams of being a culinary entrepreneur. I'm your host, Chef Evelyn. This is the place for successful women who want to live, cook, and work on their own terms. So if that's you, let's get started. Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Chef's Table, where I help you monetize your culinary skills outside the kitchen. Okay, listen. So in this video, I thought this is really important because as someone who does consult with culinary business owners, whether you're current or aspiring, I was like, you know what? I need to walk people through how to select a business mentor that's right for you. So whether it's me or somebody else, that I think you really need to have some criteria, if I could talk, and look, I just ate. Listen, I'm feeling good. But you need some criteria on how to select a business mentor that is the right fit for you specifically and your business needs. So I'm going to walk you through 5 things to consider when you are looking for a culinary business owner. So the first thing, which is kind of obvious, and I think this is what most people go with, is do they know what they're talking about? You know what I mean? Or are they just kind of flashy and showing you things? Is there a way for you to assess their skill level, right? So let's say if you were evaluating me, for example, you can look at the fact that there are, 20, 30, 40 videos here of me talking about culinary business. You can look at my own business and you can see that I know what I'm talking about. Even if you can't see the full extent of what I do, because some of it's not public facing, when you are evaluating a mentor, you need to know, do they know what they're talking about? Does it make sense? When you hear it, you kind of know, like, I may not even know everything what they're saying, but I know that to be true. So really simply, do they know what they're talking about? Secondly, do you want to have what they have? So here is a really good test, because a lot of times you see, people doing business a certain way or live in a certain way. And yes, they know what they're talking about, but then you have to ask yourself, do I want to do what they do? Because if they are going to coach you and mentor you in business, they are probably going to teach you to do what they do, how they do it. If they're a good coach or a good business mentor or a consultant, they're not going to teach you stuff they heard about or that they read about. They're going to teach you things that they have done and gotten results from, right? And so here's a perfect example. One of my coaches was talking about how when she picked her coach, is that she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. She didn't want to have to travel all over the country. She didn't want to have to be on the road doing speaking engagements. And so she had encountered a coach that was really good, that had made the kind of money that she wanted to make. She really liked the person, but they spent like over 200 days a year on the road, doing speaking engagements, and that's how they built their business. Now, obviously, she's not a chef; she's a different type of business mentor. And she was like, as much as she really liked this person and they knew what they were talking about, she realized very quickly they're probably going to teach me to be on the road and do speaking engagements, and I don't want to do that, right? So I think the second thing for you to consider is, do you want to do what they do, how they do it? Right? Look at their life. Look at the way they do business. Do you want to do what they do? So for example, I don't have a restaurant. I'm not a chef in a hotel. And so if your desire is to run a restaurant, then I'm probably not the business consultant for you. Number one, I've never done it. And typically when people approach me and they want coaching from me, but they want to open a restaurant, I turn them down. Listen, I'm not just going to take their money because I have zero experience in that area. And I want to be fair to them. Okay. Now, the third thing you want to think about is theory versus results, right? Can you see results in their own business or maybe even in their clients, right? So sometimes people have had results working for someone else, and then they're branching out and doing it for individuals. So you may not be able to see the results, but you should be able to know, they should be able to talk to you about examples, right? So for example, if I share with you a testimony about how I had a client who didn't have a website, didn't know what her culinary point of view is, was a single mom with 2 kids, like no social media following. And when I met her, she was selling $10 plates, and in 90 days, she was booking $10,000 catering gigs. And like, you can go to my Instagram highlights and you can see her write that out. Then that's actual results versus theory. If you can look at my business and go, okay, Evelyn works from home. She's got YouTube channels. She's got courses. She's got classes. She's got products. She's had events. Like, she's got, content. Like, oh, she must know something because I'm here watching her right now. She must know how to draw people in, right? So that's theory versus results. So whoever you are investigating, researching, see if you can see whether directly, like that they're doing it for themselves or for their clients, right? So my clients, it's a very private experience, so I don't share a lot of their results publicly. That's up to them, but I use my own self as an example. So when you are evaluating someone, go check them out, right? And see if they're more theory than results. If the only business they've ever had is talking about business. Okay. All right. Number 4, does that person stress you and challenge you, right? Do they require you to up level to get your results? Or are they saying, oh, it's okay, it's fine? I'm not talking about a lack of compassion, but let's just think about this. Think about if you ever played high school sports, which I didn't, but I was in the band. Same thing, right? If every day you went to practice and you told the coach, coach, I'm just not really in the mood today. And they were like, you know what? I totally get it. You're not in the mood today. We'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow you come and you're like, you know what, coach? I just don't feel great today. And they were like, that's okay. We'll do it next week. Or the coach was like, run these laps anyway, because you're going to feel better after you run the laps and you're going to want to get the results. And I know that you can run a mile in X amount of time, even though you haven't got it there. And to do that, sometimes you may have to do things that are uncomfortable. And I understand that you're tired and I empathize with you, but I also know that you have the strength in you to go ahead and run this mile, right? Like, so you need to have someone that will stretch you and challenge you, okay? To be the best version of yourself, to up level in areas. Otherwise, why have a coach? Like, I think about this, right? Anybody that's ever been wildly successful in any area of their life that we've seen, down to celebrities or pro athletes, they have a coach. They never go, I got it now, I can just figure it out on my own. I won the Super Bowl, I still don't need a coach. Or I won the NBA championship, or I won the Masters, or I have X number of Grammys. They all still have vocal coaches, golf coaches, basketball coaches, football coaches, right? And I'm always surprised when people feel like they don't need to have a business coach, when it's like, we've always been students. Somebody had to teach us how to tie our shoes. Somebody had to potty train us. Somebody had to teach us how to speak our language. Anything that we want to do well, we have to be teachable in that area. And the people who are extremely successful are never without a coach, right? And they invest at a high level to get that. I'm a coach that I'm more of a consultant, but either way, in my profession, I have mentors that I invest in. Because yes, while I may be ahead of my students, my coach is ahead of me. And the more I continue to grow, the more I can pass that on to my students. And my coach has a coach, and so on and so forth, right? So do they stretch you? Do they challenge you? And then lastly, do they offer you a full solution, or do they just offer you little pieces, right? I think a lot of times when I tell people that, my main program is a year long, and it's kind of like going back to college, right? The investment is kind of like going to college, and the time commitment is like going back to college. I think they are a little shocked, but that's because I'm not trying to give a Band-Aid. I'm trying to give the full solution from the beginning to the end and everything in between, so that you don't have to try to figure out, I need a little bit over here and a little bit over there, and what do I need next, and da 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 da. I'm walking them through a path from point A to point Z versus point A to B. And then they're like, oh, where do I go next? Oh, okay, well, here go B to C. Oh, okay, where do I go next? I'm walking them through step by step from A, B, C, D, all the way through Z. So when you're evaluating someone that you're considering, whoever that may be, do they offer a full solution? Are you the kind of person that wants a full solution, or do you the kind of person that wants a Band-Aid? And listen, sometimes some people just want a Band-Aid, or they feel like that's all they can afford when they know they actually need surgery, right? So you have to evaluate, where are you? And if you're really ready to do the work, or if you just want it to be a cool little hobby, and that's fine, no judgment there. But also you need to assess whether or not that consultant, that coach, that mentor has a full solution for you to invest in. Can they take you all the way through to the end? Like, let me give you an example. Something not business related. There was a class that I wanted to teach at my church, right? And I was looking at the curriculum that I had written out. It was non-business related. It was about something completely different. And I remember, getting the approval of my pastor to run with it. But I remember looking at the curriculum and going, I want to take people to point Z, but I had not been to point Z. And so I kind of allowed things to shut down shop, because I said, I won't be able to take people from A to Z. I'll be able to take them to A to Q, but not A to Z. And it didn't sit well with me that I didn't have a full solution for them. And so to this day, that information is tucked away in a file until I myself reach point Z, and then I can take them from A to Z. Then will I feel like I can truly support them? Because what you don't want is someone who can promise to take you from point A to point Z, but they haven't been to point Z, okay? And they don't have a process to get you through it. So make sure you find someone who has a full solution for what you're trying to do. So let me know in the comments if you are looking for a business or a mentor, in what area. And it doesn't even have to be in business. It could be in another area of life. And have these 5 things really help you consider evaluating, right? So let me know in the comments below. And listen, if you need a full solution on how to price your products and services, make sure you check out my mini course called Price It Right. If you need to start getting your systems in place, then make sure you grab the Freelance Chef Starter Kit. But if you're ready to go from I have no business, or I started a business and I have one product or service, I want to have multiple streams, I want to have, the marketing and all those things in place, then you can always book an appointment with me. It's very similar to like going to a doctor to get a diagnostic, or taking your car into a mechanic to have a call with me, and we'll talk about what it is you need to move your business forward. And then I basically will give you a prescription on what you need to do next, right? So if you want details about that, you can apply in the link below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Thank you so much for watching. If you're ready to make the transition from employee to entrepreneur, then make sure to register for From Corporate to Culinary. From Corporate to Culinary is a mini course designed to help professional women begin the process of following their passion. So whether you are still on the fence about following your dreams, or you have already leaped from the corporate ladder, From Corporate to Culinary equips you with the tools you need to live, cook, and work on your own terms. For more details and to register, go to FromCorporateToCulinary.com. Now, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you never miss a new episode. And to see what I'm cooking up behind the scenes, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook as Chef Evelyn. That's all for today, and I'll see you next week. Peace.